Hello world, this is Matlock. This is the Heartz of Matlock vlog. So the purpose of this is, just to spread awareness, educate, and inspire, inform, or just be an outlet for someone to vent or to express their opinions, their experiences with these two life-changing things. So the two topics, two driving points of this whole vlog is heart disease and then ASD, which is autism spectrum disorder. So I will give my experiences, my effects that these things have had on my life personally, which is the driving force behind this. So I don't want these to be extremely long. I don't need 30-minute, hour, 2 hour, I just want them to be to the point, educating, or giving experiences of someone's personal experiences, my personal experiences, my child's personal experiences, just those levels of insight from experiences to facts, factual things from the internet, from doctors and researchers on these two topics. And this will be a weekly thing. I just want to put it out there, and whomever it can help is the point of this, this vlog. So a lot of people always have told me over the years, like, you should write a book. You're very inspirational. You help people get through different times, different dark times, or motivate people to get through certain things in life by just sharing, my life experiences. So with these two topics, I just want to touch on, my life experiences. I've done a more full-length video of my heart disease journey, and this will actually be the first time speaking on, autism spectrum disorder. We'll get into that. So from the heart disease side, I have a family history. My father and my older sister both had, heart disease, both had enlarged hearts. I know for sure my father had aorta issues. I'm not sure of what the heart issues were with my sister, but I just know that she had an enlarged heart. 9 times out of 10, she probably did have aorta issues because we have a family gene, which I learned about later on. I'll talk about here in a second. But so to start my journey, my experiences with heart disease were both affected and came down from those two. So I can't recall who had the first surgery. I believe it was my father who had his first open heart surgery. He ended up having 2 that I know of and that I remember. But I know when my sister had hers, either that was my father's first or father's second, they both were kind of close to each other in timing as far as when they had those surgeries. So they both had these scars, which I now have. I'll get into that. The irony of that is just so amazing that it just came around, and now I have that same scar. So my sister's surgery was, I was probably age 10 or so. My dad's was around that, so I couldn't have been no older than 11. I don't think I was 12 yet when he had his. So my sister had hers. It was up in Cleveland. We stayed at the Ronald McDonald House. very nervous, scary time. Like, I don't know much about what's going on. I just know we're up there for her to have her heart surgery. My father, which this would have been his second surgery now that I remember, because he ended up having to get a pacemaker. So he had to get a pacemaker because, he was doing things, drug-wise and things that he shouldn't have been doing with his body, and the doctors expressed that to him. So when he went in for the second surgery, it was like, basically, you got to get a pacemaker or, he wasn't going to be here too much longer. So this was, like I said, around age 11 or so, got that pacemaker. So fast forward to, I'm now age 16, my sister's age 17, and she passes in her sleep. So the day, I remember it vividly, like it was yesterday. She had took a bath and stuff. Like, we ain't gonna go through the whole day, but she had took a bath and was waiting on her best friend, which I call like my sister now today. Waiting on her best friend to come over, and she laid down on like the foot of my mother's bed, and ended up not waking up. So me and my oldest brother, he's 5 years older than me, or older than her, and that is my sister Apple's. That's a shirt of her that I used to wear, but my grandmother, my mom's mother, whom used to hand wash that for me, when she passed, it's kind of, I think I only wore it once after she passed, because it was just that sentimental story of she always would hand wash that for me and get it clean, and as you can see, it's still very beautiful to this day. It's not faded or anything, so I just decided to frame it. Wasn't gonna wear it anymore. But age 16, she was 17. She passed in her sleep. My older brother, and I were trying to, pry her mouth open. Neither one of us knew CPR at this time, but we were just trying to do something. She had urinated on herself, so we knew it was very serious, jaw locked. So we were trying to use a spoon and stuff to get that open. I ended up on the phone with 911, so my mom was so hysterical, couldn't speak to them, and very tough time. So she passes at age 17. Fast forward 4 years later, that she passed in 2004. And 2008, this was a week or so after my 21st birthday, is when my father passed. Like, he ended up passing, he was only age 42 at the time. He would have been 43 on his birthday that year, so he was 42 at the time when he passed. Very, very tough time. So then, this whole time, I've never been evaluated or looked at. Like, my heart has never been looked at. I played sports, all vast number of sports. Who knows me or know of me, they know, that history of sports there from a young youth age to an adult, semi-pro. So college, everything, like, played through there, went through semi-pro, never had any issues, never had any symptoms, no problems with breathing, no problems with chest pains, none of that. So then in 2020, my wife and I, we moved our family from Columbus to the Cleveland area, and her and I were just discussing, like, we're going to make sure we tell our PCPs, everything that's going on with us personally. We both had been seeing things with each other and telling each other things about, just our medical histories and what's going on with our bodies at the time. At this time, my biggest weight wise, and I had started that journey once we moved here around April 2020 to just get focused back in on my health and taking care of myself. So running, exercising and stuff. So I had lost 20 pounds before, finding out anything. So fast forward to September, I go to my PCP establishing visit. This is our establishing visit. And I voiced to him, like, hey, I've never had my heart checked. I want you to check my heart, please. And he was like, oh yeah, we can do that. There's some in the office test we can do. So, hook me up to something in the office, heard a irregular heartbeat, it was something that was not normal. So he's like, hey, I want to refer you to a cardiologist. And it literally just took off from there. So this was mid to late September. I ended up finding out that I had, the first cardiologist told me it was a 5 centimeter aneurysm on my aorta. But then when I went to Cleveland Clinic and got more extensive testing done, EKG, CAT scans, all type of testing done, kind of find out my aneurysm was actually 6.3 centimeters. So when I spoke to my cardiologist, which I love to death, for just his knowledge and personable with his patients. So his first words out of his mouth before we went over the CAT scan and test results was, you saved your own life. Had me break down, like I wasn't in tears but eyes watering and all that. Like, I just want you to know you saved your own life. By voicing to my PCP, like, I want you to check my heart, he said, you saved your own life. So my aneurysm, with aneurysm, anything over 5 centimeters, it can rupture at any time. So like I could have literally been out in the garage or down at the park running or something. It could have ruptured. And he said, as fast as a snap of a finger is how fast, I would have passed away, basically. So I could have been in my garage working out. My wife would not have known. And, I could have been laying there for like an hour or more. She would have just been thinking I'm out there working out and stuff. So I'm grateful, thankful, to myself, to my wife, us just voicing that to each other and wanting to advocate for ourselves. So advocated for that, meet with him, all that. This is October 30th. When we meet with the heart surgeon, it's like, hey, I already went in with the mindset of, I told my wife, whatever day he has available, we're going to go in and get this done. Because my cardiologist just said, when you meet with the surgeon, tell him the soonest available day he has on his calendar, you want to get on there for surgery. So this is all a whirlwind. Like I said, this is, in a matter of a month and a half time from that initial PCP visit to meeting with the cardiologist and the surgeon. So he said, hey, I got the 7th open. I said, let's book it. Surgery ended up being on November 9th, 2020. So later this year, I'll be approaching 3 years. So, I'm around almost 2.5 year range for that. I have a mechanical onyx valve that if we're here standing right next to me or in this room, it's quiet, you can hear my valve ticking. It beats and ticks like a clock, which is the valve just opening up and closing for blood to flow through. So in this whole process, I did speak with a geneticist, and they recommended getting a genetics test done. I got that done, and I do have a gene that's called a SMAD3 gene. So this gene is linked to like adulthood aorta issues. But yes, so finding that out, it's a family history there, finding out that I have the gene. So This has definitely been something that's passed down through generations from my father to my sister and I, and maybe even from his parents and grandparents and stuff. I don't think my grandmother had heart issues, but maybe my grandfather did or his father did. Who knows? But it's genetic. The blessing is, I have two young sons, and they both were tested, and they do not have the gene. So we will continue to be proactive and get them tested as they get older, just to make sure. So with autism spectrum disorder. So I said I have two boys. My youngest boy, which is 4, his name is Jace, loving, beautiful young soul, has been diagnosed with ASD. He's been diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder. So we got him evaluated. He was in daycare at the time. Me and my wife discussed, just watching him for his first 2, and then soon after his third birthday, we discussed, okay, let's get him evaluated. So he was getting evaluated from the school psychologist, psychiatrist. She went and observed him at daycare, and then we also brought him into the school for different sessions for them to evaluate him. And they did agree and diagnose him with that. We are going to get an official diagnosis later this year. We have an appointment set up with a neurologist later this year to get him officially diagnosed, so we then can in turn get other outside sources, to come work with him on a one-on-one basis and continue, his progress. So we've seen signs, we've seen concerns like him just not hitting milestones and things as he was growing up. Turning certain ages, he wasn't saying certain things, he wasn't doing certain things, he wasn't reacting a certain way to certain things. So we both agreed and noticed these things, and we agreed that we need to be proactive for our son's sake. We have to be that voice for him, for his sake, to better support him and get him the resources that he needs to continue to thrive and excel in his life. So we got him evaluated, got him diagnosed, and it was a very tough day. It was a very tough day to hear. My wife called me. We both broke down on the phone. When she got home, we embraced, broke down again, and it was tough navigating through those waters, because the thing that lingers in the back of parents' mind, and I will say more so mothers' minds, is, what did I do to my child? Did I do this to my child? So I knew from jump we didn't do anything wrong. Autism is a disorder. We have no control over that. We have no control over how our child is being made once he's conceived. They're growing in that womb. We have no control over that. So I just wanted to reassure my wife, and really sympathize with her and tell her, like, we did nothing wrong. It's not like we failed him. We did this to him on purpose. Like, we did nothing wrong. What we have to do now is be there for him. Get him the resources he needs. Always be supportive. Always advocate and speaking up for him. That's what we have to do now. That's our task now and every day, because it's not a thing that just turns off. Like, this will be a lifelong thing for him. The goal and hope is that he will be, high functioning and able to be out in the world like many others who have autism and are doing great things in this world. I salute all folks with autism. Like, you're very tough and brave and just amazing, unique, very unique, Everyone who has autism or been diagnosed with autism is a unique individual, and we don't need to judge anyone. Don't judge anyone. It's okay to say you don't know anything about autism. There's no hard feelings, but don't sit and assume things or judge or go off of opinions of others or things you read, if they're not factual things you're reading about autism disorder. Talk to parents, talk to people with autism, talk to young children, talk to adults with autism, and you'll start to learn and see, how wonderful people are with autism. So this is the end of our first vlog. Like I said, the Heartz of Matlock vlog. I am Matlock. Thank you for listening, and hope to see you back next time.